Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Football Predictions and High Value Odds, and today I'm going to be giving out picks for Friday and Saturday. If you're a newcomer here, what we're trying to achieve with this channel is to bet on goals and single games specifically. I try to provide you with the best information that I can, and then it's up to you to choose those games or not. But guys, as I always say, don't expect to win all of those games. So don't put all of the games that I'm giving you all on one accumulator, because sometimes one or two or even three games don't go through. But if you bet them as single games, you could have the profit. And long term in sports betting, this is the way to go about it. Single games. So, and goals, of course. Stop betting on outcomes of the results. Now, before we get into the picks for the Friday and Saturday's games, I would like to talk about our previous video, the picks we made for the international break. Now let's start off with Northern Ireland and Slovenia. We had Slovenia over 1.5. The odds were great. It was at 255, and I even saw right before the game, 1 hour before the game, the odds were about 280. And actually quite a few people I saw in the comment section took that game, but unfortunately it didn't go through. Slovenia scored an early goal. I'm sure of you guys were celebrating. Also me for the second one, because they did score in the second half, but then they took off the goal due to VAR, of course. And then the game finished 1-0. The Northern Ireland's red card didn't help. Slovenia had advantage for half an hour. They were playing with an extra man, and yeah, the game finished 1-0, but Slovenia was content with that. They got the 3 points, and they're doing great in the group. So yeah, that's unfortunate though for us. Then Malta-Ukraine, that went through quite easy. It did help that Malta scored an early goal in the first half, and then Ukraine managed to score 2 in the first half, so it was done and dusted. Ukraine got a huge victory because, as I said, Italy lost the game, and that's another bet that we had. We had England over 1.5. Italy actually scored first, but then England managed to score even 3 goals, so now Italy is in big trouble. We won our bet. We went 2 for 3. But about Italy, this is an interesting situation now because they have to play Macedonia, and it's not a given that they're going to beat Macedonia at home. They already played in Macedonia and they played 1-1. So if they beat Macedonia, then they play in Poland against Ukraine as the final game. And if they draw, they will qualify. But if they lose to Ukraine, they're done. That's the beauty of Italy. There's more chance for Italy to actually win the Euro than for them to qualify. That's how crazy it is. You've seen already in the past decade, Italy didn't manage to qualify for the World Cup in back-to-back times already. So it's a shame. Anyway, I also want to talk about this stat that when you were betting on Euro qualifications, the last round was all BTTS except Northern Ireland. So for you fans out there of the accumulator, huge accumulators and huge odds, you must have gotten every single game except Northern Ireland. Again, this game beat us. But a lot of surprising goals came from Kazakhstan, 2 goals. This is something that we needed, I said, against Denmark, but yeah. Then San Marino scored against Denmark. Imagine that. I think the odds were about 7-8. Lithuania was a pleasant surprise again. They managed to score against Bulgaria too. Now they go against Hungary, scoring 2. And yeah, Serbia had a huge victory. But yeah, now the international break is over and it's going to be exactly in a month. So yeah, there's going to be 2 more rounds left, but we'll be doing those videos as well. Okay. Enough of international break, guys. Let's get into the weekend. Let's start off with Friday. Let's go straight to La Liga, a game between Osasuna and Granada. Now, those 2 teams are separated by 4 points, but Granada is pre-last in the league. For Osasuna, there's 2 sides to the team. There's the away team, which is the great team. They won 3 games and lost 2. And then there's the horrible home team, which only has 1 point in 4 games. So they drew 1 and lost 3 games. Now, Granada, they may be pre-last, but what I like about Granada is that in the previous 8 games in the league, they managed to score in all 7 of them. Last game, they scored 2 against Barcelona, and also they had 3 goals against the defensive Real Sociedad team. So they can manage to score against Osasuna, no problem. And that's what I'm going to be taking with my first pick, that Granada is going to be scoring just over 0.5. Odds are quite decent just for a goal. It's at 156. So guys, that's going to be our first bet. Now, for the second pick, we go to the English Championship. We actually have been doing that in the previous few days. We're perfect so far. We were 2 for 2 and a refund. So why not get back to it? A game between Rotherham and Ipswich. If you're looking at the table, the 2 teams are going in opposite directions. Ipswich is currently second, fighting to get to the Premier League. They have 25 goals scored, which is the most in the championship, and Rotherham is currently pre-last, and they conceded 22 goals, which is also the most in the league. Now, there's two stats that I want to bring up to you. First one is kind of a crazy one. When those two teams meet Rotherham and Ipswich doesn't manage to score one goal. In the last 4 games, look at this, all the results. It ended 1-0 the previous times. It's insane. And the second stat is that Ipswich hasn't been able to score over 1 goal in 3 consecutive games away. So I hope they end that streak, and I can totally see them scoring against Rotherham over 1.5. if they want to continue their streak to go to the Premier League. So that's going to be our second pick, Ipswich over 1.5 goals against Rotherham. The bookies are currently giving us odds 154. Now, let's get on to the Danish league, a game between Hvidovre and Silkeborg. I'm not going to pronounce that name again, the home team, so I'm going to just call them HVI, all right, guys? So, Silkeborg, this is actually a really similar game to Ipswich. Now, Silkeborg is third in the league with the second best attack, while HVI is dead last with only 3 points in 11 games. Now, they only scored 4 goals and conceded 20. Wow, so now this game should not be much of a contest. As you can see, this is HVI's home streak. They lost 8 games in a row. And Silkeborg is a high-scoring team. We just seen it. We had a bet between them and Lyngby. I think it was 2 weeks ago, BTTS, but that didn't go through because Silkeborg spanked them 5-0. So let them continue that streak of spanking teams. We're taking that. Silkeborg is going to be scoring over 1.5 goals against HVI for odds 157. Now, for the fourth pick, for the first time, we go to the Saudi League because you guys have been mentioning it in the comment section. You were saying there's a lot of goals happening. So let's do it. Let's check it out. A huge game, actually. Al Tawun against Al Ittihad. Both of those teams are fighting for the title. They're in the top 4 currently. Al Tawun is only 1 point away from Al Hilal. And they're a really, really good home team. They won all 4 games at home, and even dating back to last year, they're going on a huge home streak. While Al Ittihad, of course, they have the big-time players in that team. They're a really good away team, 4 victories and 1 draw. Now, this is a crazy stat I want to show you, is that since 2011, whenever those 2 teams faced each other, every single game went BTTS. So both teams were scoring. Now, as far as for the bet, I'm not going to be taking BTTS. I'm going to be rolling with the home side. The odds are pretty great for a home side just to score a goal. It's at 150. So that's going to be our 4th pick, that Al Tawun will score against Al Ittihad. Now, this is it for the 4th picks. I have a 5th one, but this is more of a suggestion, but I will be taking this 5th game. Let's go to the Irish Premier League, a game between Derry City and Shelbourne. Now, the Irish League is almost ending. There's about 3 games left. And what I liked about this game is that those 2 teams are only 5 points apart. Now, in the Irish League, if you go to the 3rd place, you get the Conference League. So this is a huge game for Shelbourne. And the only problem with the Irish League really is that there's a lot of low-scoring games. They tend to go 1-0, a lot of under 1.5s and under 2.5s. But I really like this game, and I like that Shelbourne will score against Derry City. Now, to beef up the odds a bit, to make them high, I'm going to be taking the over 1 bet. It's at 428 currently, that Shelbourne will score over 1 goal against Derry City. Now, for the newcomers, if you don't know the over 1 goal bet, I suggest you get a website that has it because it's really overpowered. Over 1 means refund. So if a team scores a goal, that's it. You get your money back. If they score 1 more, that's when you win those odds, for example, 428. And the only time you lose, of course, if Shelbourne doesn't score a goal. But anyway, I'm going to be taking over 1 for Shelbourne against Derry City. And another great thing about such high odds is even if I lose most of the games on Friday and I win this bet, I already get most of my money back and I could be even in plus. So yeah, that's going to be it for Friday. Let me go over really fast over those games. So we've got Shelbourne over 1 against Derry City, Al Tawun to score against Al Ittihad, Silkeborg over 1.5 goals, Ipswich over 1.5 goals. Hopefully those games go through because those teams are really the favorites in this game. And then Granada just to score against Osasuna. Now, let's get into the weekend. A lot of great games even to watch. For Saturday, let's start off with, let's say, the game of the week, Chelsea against Arsenal. Or you may debate, there's also Man City Brighton. But now, the London Derby. I'll start with Chelsea because surprisingly, they're coming off a 3-game win streak. They haven't done that in a while. So they're bouncing back in the league a bit. While Arsenal is probably the most dominant team in the Premier League currently. They just beat Man City and they're currently 1st place with the same amount of points as Tottenham. But it is the London Derby. I still think Arsenal's a way better team than Chelsea. But as I said, this is the London derby. Anything can happen in the derbies. And but the previous results, though, if you look at specifically how Arsenal has been playing in Stamford Bridge, they have been absolutely dominating Chelsea. Look at the previous 4 games. They won all of them. I look for that streak to continue, but I'm going to be taking goals, of course, and I'm going to be playing it more safe. At first, I took Arsenal over 1.5, but then I thought to chill a bit because Chelsea is riding a good momentum. And then I took Arsenal over 1. So that's going to be my bet. The Arsenal over one goal against Chelsea. The odds are currently at 150. And if you want to take the over 1.5 and risk it a bit, that's also a great bet. It's at 220. But I believe, again, Arsenal is going to come out and dominate this derby. Now, for the second pick, we stay in the Premier League. Brentford against Burnley. By the way, guys, before this game, let me know what you think about the Chelsea-Arsenal game. What is going to be your pick? Now, Brentford-Burnley. I've already done Brentford on multiple occasions on this channel. And this may be the last time I'm doing it, honestly. They've been disappointing this year. 7 points in 8 games. This is not the same Brentford team as last year. And they're playing Burnley side who are in the relegation zone. The stat I'm looking at here is that Brentford haven't scored over 1 goal in 5 consecutive games. And if this is not the game to break through that streak and score 2 goals, then I don't know what is. I'm going to be riding with Brentford over 1.5 goals. Bookies are currently giving us odds 183. And guys, if they don't win, if they don't score those 2 goals, I'm putting them straight on the blacklist. I've had enough of Brentford. So they're going to be joining our favorite Union Berlin, Milan, and Celta Vigo. So yeah, our second pick is Brentford over 1.5 against Burnley. Now, for the third pick, we go to my favorite Serie A, Verona against Napoli. Napoli is having a terrible start to the season. They're 5th in the league. They already have 2 losses at home. Last one came against Fiorentina, also 2 draws. Comparing that to last year, they finished the league with 90 points and they only had 6 draws and 4 losses, and that was towards the end of the season when they already won the Scudetto. So yeah, it's terrible for Napoli. They're actually looking for a new coach right now. There's rumors that Antonio Conte had conversations with them, but Rudi Garcia, their current coach, is hanging by the strings there. And if they don't win against Verona, this could be a major problem. Now, Verona, I hate betting against Verona. They're a really stingy team at home. They always play low-scoring games, usually under 1.5. But Napoli here has to take care of business. I'm taking Napoli, considering they also lost 2 games in a row. I'm expecting Napoli to score over 1.5 goals against Verona, and the odds are 172. Now, let's get back to La Liga. Celta Vigo against Atletico. Usually I don't bet on Atletico, but they have been on a streak. Let's look at it. They're currently 4th in the league. They're bouncing back. They have 4 consecutive victories. And what's interesting about those victories they're having right now is that in every single game they're scoring 2 or over goals. It's already 5 games in a row they've done that. And they're playing a really terrible Celta side. They're in the relegation zone. Thanks to their home record, they're absolutely terrible at home. They only have 2 points in the previous 5 games. And I expect Atletico to win this game easily. But that's the 2 things that really scare me, is that Atletico has been scoring way too many goals and Celta still hasn't won a home game. But anyway, come on. Let's take Simeone and the boys. Let them provide us with a good result. So we're taking over 1.5. I did think about taking over 1, but the odds were too low. They're at 144 for Atletico. But if you want to play safe, take them. But I'm going to be taking over 1.5. Odds are 212, which are pretty good. Yeah, so that's our 4th pick. Now, for the last pick for Saturday, we go back to the championship. A game between Preston and Millwall. Guys, you might have heard of Preston already, the name, because we had them 2 weeks ago. What was it? Yeah, about 2 weeks ago. It was against Ipswich. They lost the game 4-2, but we had them over 1 goal, and it was odds 250. And I saw in the comment section that quite a few of you took that bet. So why not try again with Preston? Now, they're 3rd in the league still, but they are riding a 3-game losing streak. They're playing Millwall, who are 15th with 15 points. If Preston is serious about making it to the Premier League, they have to start winning games, and I don't see them losing 4 in a row. But even if they lose 4 in a row, let them just score a goal. I'm not going to be taking over 1.5 here. I'm going to be taking over 1 goal specifically because the odds are pretty high. It's at 172. So that's going to be our 5th and final pick for Saturday. Wow, we have about 9 to 10 picks, considering if you're going to take the crazy Irish games. But guys, I hope you're happy with the information that I provided you here. I'm going to be back for the next video on Saturday because I'm going to be releasing the Sunday's games and also Monday's games. So I'm going to try to do one video every 2 days. And of course, the Champions League, Europa League, Conference League is going to be all covered on this channel. Now, what I want you to do, guys, also comment down below all the picks that you're going to be taking for the weekend, guys. Also give me some good odds because I take those games and some of them I win. So thanks to you. Now, the usual introduction for the ending, guys. Yeah, bet responsibly. Most importantly, stay healthy. And I'll see you very soon. Adios.